Good morning, my name's John. I welcome you to my channel Druid Life in the Highlands, but in this particular video I'm not in the Highlands at all. I'm in a very different landscape. I'm by the Wiltshire Avon in the south of England. I'm staying in a small town called Amesbury, which has a very long history, but this landscape is very different to the landscape in which I live. It's a very degraded landscape, really. Just to my right is the A303, and this is the road that runs from London to Cornwall. And you can probably see cars whizzing past over the bridge that crosses the river. But yeah, so it is a very different landscape to mine. But what's interesting, I actually think of this as, if you like, the landscape of the dead. Because the reality of it is that around here, there are so many burial mounds and tumuli and earthworks. Stonehenge itself is about a mile from where I'm standing, which is the obvious one that most people know about. But the whole area is littered with remains from prehistory. Where I'm staying, there's a barrow in someone's front garden. A great big earth mound actually in their front garden. And they litter the landscape. We've also got other things in this area. We have Durrington Walls, which are some huge long earthworks that's just to the north of where I'm sitting. And we have an even more enigmatic site called Woodhenge. So this river going past me, you can see the 303 there, all the heavy traffic. This river, the Wiltshire Avon, has been here since the last ice age. It was all cut out. Behind me there's a steep bank. It would all been all cut out by the overflow as the glaciers melted to the north of here. So this is a very ancient landscape feature. So this time of year everything is dead and just pausing. All the vegetation's died down. You can see the escarpment up the top there, quite a steep slope. That would have been carved out by the glacial overflows. So this would once have been quite a mighty river during the end of the last ice age, 12,000 years ago, and would have spread out over the surrounding countryside. Probably beyond the line of the embankment on which the road is built. So you might be wondering why I'm away from my home, my normal landscape, because that's really where I much prefer to spend my life. Well, I'm filming this on the 20th of December. And as a Druid, I'm obviously interested in the solstice. And this is coming up now. Tomorrow at 9:21 is the actual moment of the Winter Solstice. So what does solstice mean? It refers to the fact that the sun appears to stand still in the sky. It doesn't go any higher and doesn't go any lower. And it occurs the day before, the day of the actual solstice, and the day after. There's a 3-day period. And it actually means sun stands still. So what does that mean for a Druid? Well, we celebrate the changing of the seasons. We have 8 festivals. We have what we call the cross-quarter festivals, which are Imbolc, Beltane, Lunasa and Samhain. And we also celebrate the solar festivals, which is Winter Solstice, Spring Equinox, Summer Solstice, Autumn Equinox. So it's an important day for us. It's the time when the Earth starts to turn back towards the light. The days inexorably start to lengthen. So that doesn't really explain why I'm down here. The reason I'm down here is I'm a member of a particular Druid order that actually has exclusive access to the inner circle of Stonehenge on the 22nd. I believe there's a big sort of festival there on the 21st, but we're allowed in on the 22nd. And we'll be having a ceremony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to film that ceremony because that's one of the conditions of going there, but what I'm hoping to do is to take some film from inside the circle once the ceremony is over. So I'll be taking a camera, putting it up on a pole and seeing what I can capture. It'll be dark, so apart from the lights that English Heritage provides, I'm not sure, it'll probably just be silhouettes, but it will be actually from within the circle of Stonehenge, which is a place that the majority of people don't get to go. So what happened? Well, I went back to my father-in-law's house, and within a few minutes I realised that my wife, who had not been well when I left, was actually considerably worse. She had a raging temperature, and within 12 hours I actually had the same. I had the same raging temperature, and as it turned out, we'd caught a strain of COVID. So with such an infectious illness, we basically just had to self-isolate. We just kept away from the festivals and activities that we were intending to do. And it's now, as I record this, the 5th of January. As you can see, I'm in a very different environment. I'm back in my home. The river is just behind me. But it did mean that all the solstice celebrations, the filming that I'd intended to do to enhance this video, just simply wasn't possible. And in the same way as the River Avon was flowing past me and the burn behind me is flowing past me, we just had to go with it. We had to relax and just give ourselves time to get well. So our solstice celebration was actually a bit of a non-event this year. The solstice happened, the earth tilted, we're now starting to move the lighter days. But our part in that and our opportunity to celebrate that just had to be let go of, which is what we did. So what I can tell you about our ceremony is that we celebrate the changing of the light, and that is represented by two cousins or two brothers. One is the Oak King and one is the Holly King. Now you would think at the winter solstice that the Holly King actually is at the height of its powers, but of course this is not so, because once we move past the 21st of December, we start to come back into the light. The days grow longer, and we believe that the Oak King is in the ascendant. The Oak King is in the ascendant then right through to the summer solstice, when again it would be natural to think that he's at the height of his powers. But in truth, what we find is that he's actually waning, because as we go past the summer solstice into the darkness, the Holly King is actually in the ascendant. So we have this constant tension between the light and the dark, and that's one of the things that we celebrate and reenact in our ceremonies. So it just remains for me to wish you the best for 2025. I hope your year is full of health and happiness. They are the most valuable things we can have. But this is not the video that I intended to put out at this time of year. But circumstances have dictated what I should do and how I should do it. The next video is likely to be out in about a fortnight, and then subsequently the next ceremonial video will be for Imbolc, which is at or around the 1st of February and celebrates the coming of the spring. Thank you for staying with me this long through this video. If you've enjoyed what I've done, then you might like to give me a like. And if you're interested in how my Druid year unfolds, then possibly click the subscribe button and the notifications, and you'll be notified as the videos come out. Thank you once again, and a rather belated Happy New Year to you.